already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Yo, we back in the building. We back in the building. We got to talk. We've got to talk. Porsha and Kenya are spilling all of the tea. Remember, I told you guys how Porsha was going to upload her part 2 video, sort of recapping the first couple of episodes of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16. Really, honestly, this last episode where everything blew up between Kenya and Brit. And the aftermath is insane. Okay, so we're going to get into that. We're going to get into Brit is now doing the promo rounds, which I kind of felt like they would hold Brit until this point. So we'll get into what she has to say. We will also touch on Basketball Wives. The trailer just came out, like the full trailer. So we got a lot to discuss. Okay, so let's get into it. So Porsha, wow. Porsha just unleashed a lot of tea on us. A lot. Some of it in her video and some of it online. So in case you missed the video, let me give you the breakdown of it. Porsha lets us know that, like I said earlier, that it was allegedly a housewife who is still on the show. Now, notice she says still on the show. Now, of course, she could have said a housewife on the show. She said still on the show. So let's go down process of elimination. When she says a housewife that is still on the show, when I look back at the episode, I'm thinking to myself, who stayed in the building after this whole situation went down? And I feel like the only person that we didn't see outside the building was Drew. And so when she says a housewife that is still on the show, well, most of these girls are new. So there's no, this is obvious that they're also all still on the show. When you say still on the show, I would have to assume you mean somebody that's been on the show and is still on the show. And the only person that could be would be Drew. But again, that's just me doing process of elimination, playing Scooby-Doo, and picking up the breadcrumbs that Porsha is putting down. It's not pampered by Porsha. It's exposed by Porsha. But who actually is it? Let us know in the chat what you guys think. Okay? Now, let's get into some more tea of it all. Shout out to our friends over at the Jasmine brand, because before the video from Porsha went live, the part 2 of this whole situation, this caper, if you will, Kenya, I guess, got wind of a post that, I'm not sure who made it, but she says, absolutely no one on the show gave me anything. Stop using my situation for clickbait. Okay, so Kenya gets right down to it. All right, gets right down to it. She says, no one on the show gave me anything. Now, some people, listen, at the end of the day gonna end, right? At the end of the day is gonna end. So at the end of the day, Kenya, whomever she got it from, she still ended up posting it. She's the one who posted it. So, but it's just fascinating because was somebody else Kenya's detective? Anyway, Porsha then reveals another bombshell, whether she knows it or not. She says, that's a lie. We talked day and night, and I personally went to network/production and fought for you because you showed her underage explicit pics. I also went after as well because I was hurt you had to leave. So I'm assuming she's saying she went to production and network because she was hurt that Kenya had to leave. She says, I checked on you because I cared and care. I'm not your enemy at Kenya. I did not know that the Pics was not of the legal age. Like, that is, now we in a different territory. We are in a different territory if that's the case. I didn't know it was, I mean, listen, I thought that, doing that in general was in bad taste, in general. But if they were not of legal age, then that's even worse at this point. No? I mean, I don't, I can't fool around with that. Porsha, for her YouTube channel, she does give a full account of what happened in the time period betwixt when Brit made the pow pow statement. She gives at least she gives her take on what happened in the days between. So she says that she was spending day and night on the phone with Kenya after this whole situation happened. Kenya was apparently unwilling, even if Brit apologized, to hear what Brit had to say, and said something to the effect of she could take that apology and shove it up her ass, right? Because Porsha and Kelly tried to, according to Porsha, tried to tell Kenya, if you are still feeling froggy about this situation with her, disinvite her to your event. Because when you gave the blanket invite, she was at the table. So you need to resend that invitation if you don't want her to be there. And according to Porsha, Kenya didn't say anything. And she also told Porsha, and I'm assuming maybe Kelly, that she was going to expose that B. So remember, earlier in our video today, we talked about there was a clip from Porsha's YouTube video where it was clipped together of Porsha saying that there was a housewife that was still on the show that gave Kenya the information. Then it was another clip cut together, and as I questioned earlier, it was cut together where she's referring to Kenya was saying that she was going to expose that B, meaning Brittany. It's Brittany B. So that's where that came from our earlier discussion. If you saw that video. The other thing that Porsha details is that, she felt that Brit showed true remorse, that Brit really tried to make a concerted effort to apologize to Kenya. She was remorseful for her actions. It does not necessarily explain to me why she said, or she posted, that she never made reference to a pow pow. Like, I'm still unclear about that. I think she needs to answer for that. And we'll discuss the fact that she is doing the promo, and someone's going to ask her about that. I am quite sure it's going to come up. But Porsha also alleges that there is another housewife on the show currently who tried to go to production several times to get Kenya fired. Was this before the incident or was it after the incident? I'm unclear. And who is it? Because I'm trying to think at that point, you can't be talking about Brit, because I would assume that she probably already felt the type of way at the time. But who else would have gone to production to try to have Kenya fired? Who do you think? I'm curious. I'm curious. Who could it have been and why? Right? Why? Okay. So that is that. A lot of tea there. Let's move on to Brit and her first interview. Okay. So give me 1 second, because we have got to pull up that Brit interview that she has done with Housewives Nightcap. And shout out to the Neighborhood Talk for pulling this clip. I mean, so in an interview with Access Hollywood and Housewives Nightcap, Brit says, well, she takes accountability for making the pow pow comment, for which Porsha assumed that when they were talking about whips, she was talking about cars. I'm not necessarily sure why whips would be mentioned in this whole scenario, but okay. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe she, I don't know. Was she intoxicated when she said, when she had this moment with Kenya? Portia also tells us that this argument was like 2 hours. Now, I don't know if Portia was exaggerating and just meaning that it was a lot more than what we saw apparently. And apparently when Kenya Moore exposed Britain, she there was a lot more that she revealed and exposed than just what we saw. And Portia says that she's thankful that Bravo actually cut out most of what Kenya actually said and showed. It's like, ooh, Jesus. Okay, this is wild. I'm interested in what Kenya has to say about all this. But right now, we're talking about Brit. Based on the headline here, you can see, let's like this post. You know, she says that Kenya never apologized to her after showing explicit images, but that she would be open to moving forward if she did. Brit, basically, her stance is this. And I think that this is also the network stance. Brit's stance is that if she says, I'm just disappointed in how she's handling it, being a victim. So I guess she's referring to the Justice for Kenya post that Kenya Moore is posting, and you know, the things that she's saying about why didn't anyone say something to this girl about the pow pow of it all. And I have to also kind of wonder if, logistically speaking, some of the network or the production company's responses to this incident are based on the cast's reaction to what happened at the spa. Like, and then also to the fact that on most of these shows, I can tell you that when you look historically at when a housewife has done something wrong, if they are actually remorseful for what they have done, like if they show it at least, whether it is real or not, the network or the production company, I feel like they're typically a bit more lenient with people who show some type of remorse, which is probably why they were at least maybe okay with Brit and not necessarily so much with Kenya, who has maintained a stance of, I'm the victim here, right? This is happening to me. She said this pow pow comment in reference to me. Brit also questioned whether or not Kenya was actually feeling threatened, because if she was saying that if she did, you know, she wouldn't. Why did she invite me to the thing? Like, why didn't she rescind the invite? Why would she still do something like this if she was also so afraid of what I might do? Um, I don't know. I don't know. So many questions. So many questions. Um, Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. You know, something else that Portia did reference was that she was hopeful that Brit and Kenya could work things out. And she also said that she would love to see Kenya Moore come back next season. And it almost sounded like she kind of expected Kenya to return next season. And I would wager to think that that is in large part going to be determined by what Kenya does next. How does she manage this moving forward? That's going to be probably a determining factor on whether or not she comes back to the show. All right, let's talk basketball wives. We're playing basketball. We're playing basketball. You know, typically I try to show an edited or do a reaction to the trailer, but there's oftentimes in the comment section people who are just like so hurt and irritated and crying about the fact that I do have to talk in between it, that it just takes the fun out of doing it. So I'm just not going to do it for this one. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to play you a little bit. Actually, I can't help myself. F those people. I mean, sorry. I ain't say the word, but y'all know what I'm saying. Forget them. Okay. Because those that are going to be unhappy, they're going to be unhappy regardless. So you know what? We might as well live our lives and live it to the fullest, baby. I'm just going to show y'all this one little part, because this is the part right here that sends me through the roof.
You lucky I'm even sitting here entertaining you.
Okay, it's Jackie Christie. Sorry to y'all because I'm interrupting the video. Get over it.
Do you hear yourself? Stop. Look how you look as a mother. Don't touch me.
Ooh. Now, did it not look like Jackie was going to knock the brakes off for her daughter? Baby, these basketball wives are crazy. Okay. All except Shawnee, because she just showed up for the photo op. Okay. Anyway, let me tell y'all what's going on in this trailer. Essentially, I'm gonna break it down into a couple of different topics. Evelyn is coming after Jen for dating, for marrying Christian, who she alleges is stealing the folks' money, right? I'm not really all up into that particular topic because I don't understand it, quite frankly. But that's what the word on the street is. And you never want to hear about something like that in general because it's just unfortunate. I think for me, I just never understood his business model. So I think that's where I'm kind of not with the understanding of it. Like I don't understand like how he makes money. But I find that when something is too complicated for me, my brain just cannot process it because I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing. So, I mean, you got to be able to easily explain it to me and show me charts and diagrams. So she's going after Jen for her choice in men, which is kind of funny because that's why they found out in the first place when Jen was trying to tell her about her man and, things happened and it went wrong. You have Brittany, not to be confused with Edie, but Brittany, who has returned to Basketball Wives, and she's annoyed with Evelyn for some reason. So we'll see that play out. We'll also see her in altercation with someone who I cannot determine in the trailer. It looks like Brittany is screaming something at her, at some woman who is jumping over a table to, in fact, get to Brittany. So the links for all these will be in the description so that those of you guys who want to see it can see it. And, those of you guys who like to complain, you can now be pleased that you don't have to complain. You can complain about something else. How about that? Ming and Ty are dating, not dating, figuring it out. Brandy is into it with somebody. Yeah, that's the trailer. I mean, I know that I broke it down into the most simplistic terms, but the trailer, the way it's edited, actually looks good. I will tell you something that I am slightly annoyed by, and I'm going to get into it right now since we here talking. Let me pull this up again for you guys so you can see exactly the source of my annoyance. Let's take a look at it. And I'm a stickler for little things like this. I appreciate there's an evolution that's happening here in terms of the actual production of it and everything. But I do not like these confessionals. And it's something about the blurry background confessional and the ultra filtered look of the ladies in the confessional that just it sends me into a tailspin, right? Jen's doesn't look that bad, right? But when you get this is jarring to me. It is very jarring to me. I like for my backdrops to look like, they're in a real place. This gives me, I'm sitting in front of a green screen, and yes, we know that's what they do, but it's kind of like, oh, you couldn't. I mean, y'all couldn't do something. I mean, come on. I mean, I prefer the old green screens that they had to these. I mean, I don't know. It's just something about it that just like it's just bothering me. Why? Why is it bothering me like that? Um, um, I'm I'm excited to see Chantel back into the situation. See, this is one of the ones that I'm talking about. This the way they did this, and maybe it's like just the filter on it, it just washes her out. It totally washes her out. You can't even really get a good view of her in this situation. Um, these two, I'm not sure what is happening or what it's supposed to give. I'm sure once we get into the season, it will become. See, now I will say Evelyn looks like J-Lo here. Does she not? Is this not a J-Lo look? I think it's the bangs. And I think it's just the bangs. So anyway, Basketball Wives is back. Season 12, new season returns. Jackie Christie Day is officially Monday, May 5th. So make sure you guys are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, because we'll of course be recapping this show. Now, I think that there is no stone left unturned in this video. So we covered it all. And with that being said, make sure you guys like this video. Number one, like it, smack that like button, flip it, rub it down. Oh no, I mean, oh yes. Do it now. Do it. And then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And of course, listen, be on the lookout. I mean, come with us to Cape Town. You know what I'm saying? Trips is still happening. Yes, yes, yes. Trips is still happening. We don't stop, can't stop, won't stop. And now's the time to understand about getting out of the country and checking out the rest of the world. See what's going on out the country a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Come travel party with us to South Africa. We're going to be doing it big, all the way big. This is luxury all the way. Trust and believe, you do not want to miss this trip. November 30th through the 7th of December. We're about to turn it up. Okay. With that being said, I will catch you all in, of course, the next video.